Chicago, 1893. The city was preparing for the World's Fair, a time of celebration, lights, and hope. Millions of tourists flooded the streets. They were looking for lodging. They were looking for adventure. But amidst the excitement, a predator was watching. His name was Dr. Henry Howard Holmes. Charming, intelligent, deadly. He wasn't just a doctor, he was an architect of death. Holmes bought a block of land and started building a massive hotel. The locals called it the Castle. But this was no ordinary hotel. It was a puzzle designed by a madman. During construction, Holmes hired and fired workers every week, so no one would know the true layout. Why? Because the blueprint contained secrets that only he could understand. The ground floor was innocent. Shops, a pharmacy, a place to earn trust. But the upper floors were a labyrinth. Hallways that led to nowhere. Staircases that stopped at the ceiling. Doors that opened into brick walls. Guests checked in, thinking they were lucky to find a room near the fair. They admired the gas lighting in their rooms. They didn't know. The controls were on the outside. Once the door was locked, there was no way out. The castle was not built for guests. It was built for victims. Some rooms were designed to be gas chambers. Guests would go to sleep and never wake up. Others would panic, trying to break down the doors. But the doors were lined with iron plates. Screaming was useless. The walls were filled with asbestos and steel. Soundproof. Holmes didn't even have to enter the room to kill. He watched. He waited. He enjoyed it. Once the guests were dead, Holmes had a special way to move them. A greased metal chute. A slide that went straight from the bedrooms down to the basement. The basement was not a storage room. It was a factory. Here, he had vats of acid large enough to hold a human body, pits of quicklime to dissolve flesh in hours, and a cremation oven to turn the rest into ash. But Holmes didn't just want to kill. He wanted to profit. He stripped the flesh from the bodies using his surgical skills. He cleaned the skeletons, wired the bones together, and sold them to medical schools. The very people he murdered became science experiments. He was making money from their deaths twice. Once from their insurance and once from their bones. But every monster makes a mistake. Holmes left Chicago and tried an insurance scam with a new partner. The plan failed. The authorities were alerted, and the Pinkerton Detective Agency was on his tail. Holmes was arrested in Boston, but the police had no idea what he had done in Chicago until they entered the castle. Detectives broke into the hotel. What they found in the basement made them vomit. Piles of human bones, bloody clothes, watches, and a child's footprint etched into the kiln. The press went wild. They called it the Murder Castle. The entire world was watching. In court, Holmes was calm. He confessed to 27 murders, though some say the number was over 200. He famously said, "I was born with the devil in me. I could not help the fact that I was a murderer." May 7, 1896. Holmes was led to the gallows at Moyamensing prison. He asked for one last thing. He didn't want his body to be stolen like his victims. He requested to be buried in concrete so no one could ever dig him up. The trapdoor opened. The devil of Chicago was dead. But strange things happened to those who convicted him. The judge, the priest, the jury foreman. They all died mysterious deaths shortly after. Some say it was the Holmes Curse. The castle burned down years later, but the screams are said to still echo in the ashes.